Hi everyone, and welcome to day 9 of my 40 till 40. So today's topic will be about whatever you want to call it, excuses, reasons, thoughts, concerns. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to say your excuses for not breaking up with America, ending your love affair with America. And this could be to move abroad somewhere different in the world, or Mexico. For purposes of this particular video, we're going to talk about Mexico. So some common things people bring up about why they might not want to move can be, hey Keisha, I have kids. Understandable. I don't have kids, so that's not something that I had to think about. But I can share with you that I have moved a family here with kids. Some options you can think about, usually about school-related things, are, one, you can put your kids in private school. Private schools here in Mexico are better than the US. Look it up. And then there's also, if people want to be a cross-border independent like me, you can cross your kids. I know some families that cross their kids to American schools. If you want to do that, that's an option. Another option could be homeschooling. I know what you're thinking. Keisha, I don't know anything about that. I don't know the first thing about that. However, I think there's a big boom coming again with homeschooling. There's lots of Facebook groups and also YouTube videos of people that have been doing it, that are doing it well. They're experts. I suggest looking into that to find out more information on homeschooling. The other thing that has also been a thing, but taking off these days, is educating your child in a non-traditional way. Some people are bringing their kids on the road, traveling, and teaching them through traveling, going different places. So you might want to look at a non-traditional way of educating your child, especially because our education system is so archaic. It really doesn't give kids the skills they need for this world. And so you might want to think about that, along with systemic racism and things like that. So there's one reason. Let's see. Another reason people might think, I can't do this. They think about maybe, what will I do with my car? Well, you can bring your car with you. What about insurance? You can get Mexico insurance, car insurance. You can also get health insurance as well. You can leave your car. You can sell your car. Maybe you will live somewhere where you might not need a lot of transportation. There are transportation options here. We do have Uber. Some people think about taking taxis. We have Uber as well. We have a transportation system here as well. And some expats and others have even made it their job to bring people to the border, go to Costco for you, or other stores you might really like. We have Costco here as well. There's Walmart. I've even found a really cool herbal shop. It's kind of built like Sprouts, and all of the different herbs you can get fresh. What are some other things people think about? How about family, Keisha? How about my family? You know what? I can say that is something that you might really miss. And so what's really great about being a cross independent is that you can always get to San Diego, the airport, fly to your family, drive to your family. It places you in closer proximity if you want to be closer to your family. I've had people that I've moved across that moved their elderly parents across as well. When you think about, what am I going to do with, I'm a caretaker. Bring them over here. How about healthcare, Keisha? Check out our healthcare system, as I said before in another video, with America. Many Americans are coming to Mexico for healthcare. It's more affordable and it's just as good. I don't like the saying of there's American doctors here, as if Mexican doctors are lesser than American doctors. There's all types of doctors here, and dentists and plastic surgeons and any other healthcare professional that is just as good as America. And many people see the highlighting of botched surgeries in other countries. We don't see a lot of stories on botched surgeries in America, but they're there if we look for them. Remember, the media is to sell you what they want you to see. And obviously, we're not going to trash our own healthcare system in the way that we trash others. And so you can kind of get the same amount of risk. But I know that many Americans come here for their health care, for surgery, for breast cancer treatment in a natural way, beyond radiation and things like that, chemo, some other alternative things that they do. And actually, my employer, the PPO option allows me to get care in Mexico. And so there are healthcare options in that way. Again, it's much more affordable and just as good. The quality is just as good as America. What are some other things people talk about? Someone talked about the food. You know, am I going to miss the food that I like, or the ingredients? And yes, there is different food here, but you're always able to get the ingredients and the things that you really want to cook and eat and things like that. I rarely eat Mexican food. I live in Mexico and I rarely eat Mexican food. I prefer a different cuisine. Every now and then I might get some Mexican, but very, very seldom. And so it's not just Mexican here. There is Indian food. There's Chinese food. There's pizza. Everything you can think of. There's sushi. They have it here. So you won't miss a beat. And so again, if you have some specialized diet or food you want to eat, you can always order that. Okay. What about the culture, Keisha? You know, I've really had to, since Hurricane Katrina, come to grips with culture. Not having the culture that I grew up with, in the way that I grew up with. Not only African-American culture, Black culture, but just New Orleans culture. I really miss it. I have been missing it since Katrina. And I have learned to embrace other cultures and build community. So I talked about relational wellness, right? And so someone asked, what's the first thing you did to solidify your stay? I build community. So I build what I need wherever I go. I've been several places since Hurricane Katrina. In fact, I think Hurricane Katrina pushed me into being comfortable relocating and rebuilding. And so I've learned to create communities for myself wherever I live that helps me with that cultural part. And of course, again, when you're saving money, you can go and visit your hometown, or, you know, have your relatives visit you and get a re-up on your culture and your family. Okay, so yeah, that is a trade-off. And again, remember, the move does not have to be permanent. That's another thing. People look at it as doomsday. Like, if I do this, I can't do anything else. Listen, you don't have to stay here. You don't have to make a lifetime commitment or it be a permanent commitment. It could be temporary. Remember, I just want you to get your head above water. But once you get breathing, I just think you're going to be insane to want to go back to insanity. And so, but you can, if you just have a goal you want to reach and you want to head back to, you know, where you came from, that's okay too. And so I think that I'm going to stop right there about some of the common things. If you have any questions or thoughts about, you know, some other barriers that you see, I just thought of another one. Let's say employment. And so people, again, I told you, people get jobs either in the new location or they do remote work online, or if you're a cross-border independent, you can work in America, come here. And so that's not a barrier as well. You know, where will I work? How will I work? Where would I get money? Okay, so those are some of the top things that I hear people say this is why, you know, they can't move. But you absolutely can. And so please don't let that stop you. I really think the underlying reason of why we really don't want to move is because we're in love with consumerism, materialism, capitalism, and we believe the lies that media tells us about other countries being less than. We have a pride issue, America, that we are better than everyone else, and everyone else's way of life and living is subpar, and it's just not true. It's different. And so not better, not worse, but different. And so just that mental model and that changing of your mindset would help you to expand your thoughts about that. So if you are sick of America, you're sick of the situation you're in, this is a option, very viable option. And if you have any other barriers or, you know, concerns or excuses of why you cannot make the move and do something different, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to answer that and help you with that. If you need some life coaching around getting a plan together, I'm open to that. And if you need a tour to check it out first, test it out, then you can do that as well. Don't forget, you can always do Airbnbs, places as well, and kind of test it out. I encourage people to try it out for a week or two and see if it works for you before you take the plunge. But this is Keisha signing out. Thanks for listening. Peace.